Welcome to Venus Transmissions. I'm Sat Avtar. Why are you a target for narcissists? Why are empaths a target for narcissist exploitation? What is, this pressure to feel the need to be vulnerable and want to be vulnerable, but how might, when we connect deeply with our emotions, that also leave us open to pressure, manipulation, and exploitation? So first things first, what I want to encourage you in this video is to, listening is a very intellectual process. But the solution to this really is more about a feeling and a body process. We tend to really intellectualize, trying to figure out why this happened, why that happened, but the solutions never come to us. So just keep that, ironically, in mind as we go through this. So what's going on right now? And I'm going to talk about the deeper perspective. As a Kundalini Yoga teacher, we've been talking about this age change, the switch of ages from Kali Yuga. This is just like yogic history, prophecy, to a shift in consciousness. And this shift in consciousness, especially during this eclipse time, right? We're eclipsing our shadows. We have to see the shadows. We have to experience them to even know that they're there. And that is why, there's so much seemingly crazy behavior. Like I've said in the last video and said in others' videos, our coping mechanisms that we have been used to are no longer working. We're realizing how temporary they are. And when it comes to narcissism, there's a huge disconnect between the well of self-love that should be a generative force that we all have. So instead of reaching to the inside, it's a reaching to the outside. But that outside, like getting that way, it's a black hole. It never fully connects. It's never satiated. It never fully recharges and comes home. So all of these behaviors are coming out more because all of our patterns are coming out more. And we're experiencing things that have been repressed for so long. And it's great to not intellectualize it, to not intellectualize why is this happening, because that's the egoic mind. Just, remember that the solution is always going to be through an experience, an embodiment, a feeling. So why empaths might be more of a target, and why does it seem that way is happening? Because we are stepping into a time of consciousness where we validate our feelings and we learn and are learning how to self-regulate. And in that process, we're feeling things more. We're learning how to be more vulnerable. That can leave us, it's like we're also craving love. But are we reaching from the outside for that love? Or are we able to come inside for it? When you come inside for it, it's that's like the ultimate protector. That's your solution to that. Coming inside for the love. Whereas a lot of times when we're stepping into being vulnerable and to sharing our emotions, we don't even realize it, but we're psychologically asking for other people's validation. We're sharing our emotions so that we can get validation, but we want it from the outside. And that is a lot of what makes an empath, I wouldn't use the word vulnerable, but just, you're able to be tricked a bit more, exploited a bit more. And I want to encourage you all, though, to see this as a gift and to make sure that you're stepping out of powerlessness into power. Feeling your own emotions for your own self-validation and moving forward with that. So taking action within your own life. And what does that look like? That looks like you not caring about what anybody else thinks. You cultivating a unshakable, undeniable sense of self-worth. Nurturing self. I had a great little exchange with a fellow DJ, spiritual woman yesterday, about how we've been taught that self-care is narcissism, but narcissism isn't self-care. Narcissism is like a hungry demon that never stops eating, that doesn't care or have compassion about the other person. Whereas self-care and has this realization that when I take care of myself, I can show up. I can show up for everything. I can show up for my world. I can show up for people. And so we've skewed these ideas, and they've put us in powerless states because we're so reliant on the outside. It's this dynamic of codependency, which I know I sound like a broken record because I say it in so many videos. It's a hard construct to break. And it requires, coming back to self over and over and over again. Being okay with those emotions and knowing that you can support yourself through those times. The empath is an amazing target. It's like the lion and the gazelle. I've literally seen people look at kind-hearted people who were lost in themselves, like they were a piece of meat that they were going to go grab, and ooh, what a tasty dinner that was. Do you want to be the tasty dinner? I don't think so. Like I've said in other videos, empaths, and that word can often be confused with a sensitivity that's been created and born out of trauma. And I have seen people that assume that they're immune to this because they're therapists or they make a lot of money. They rely on academia to justify things, and they think that they're not targets, but then they still get themselves in toxic situations. It can happen to anybody. It can happen to the best of us. Consciousness is this very malleable thing that moves and shifts and changes, and the whole underlying purpose to these relationships, especially if you're looking at things that have happened between like 2010 and now. This has been a huge portal for so many of us. We don't think in the long game sometimes, the long term, what's been going on, but it's all of a sudden that you can just see things. And this is happening, I'm seeing this with a lot of different people. We're just seeing things for what they are and then saying no. And that is the most important skill you can have, using your voice, learning how to say no. Because anybody that truly cares about you, even if they might get triggered by that no, they're going to roll with it. They're going to let you have that no, and they're going to respect it. That is the truth. I have a 5-day free voice activation course, just a little bit of tuning in to this energy center and this, our navel point center, the connection between here. It's so important for speaking our truth and being able to say no. Cutting through the energy of those consequences that, because we're so focused on the outside, VenusTransmissions.com, to start working with this energetic shift of being the empowered sensitive person, using that sensitivity as a way to tune into your intuition in an unshakable way. I'd love to hear from you. Leave your comments below. I also have coming up, starting November 6th, Monday nights. It's going to be recorded, so you don't have to be live. A 4-week series. There's going to be one class on the full moon, one class for the new moon. We're revitalizing our nervous system. It's called the city, meaning victory, going from, disempowered to empowered. Just what's the next step that we can take? And how can we be in the present moment as well and feel that perfection, that love of self? AquarianYogi.net for my online practice. You really need to rejuvenate your nervous system. And that is something that, you get to work at. Like doing the exercise, doing the movement, doing the somatic stuff. AquarianYogi.net. Yearly membership is so reasonable. You can practice at home. I look forward to the next video, and I hope this little tidbit of understanding what's going on with the shift in consciousness and why these behaviors seem to be coming out, so you can approach things with more compassion for yourself and for others, but then also have some really clear, strong boundaries and understand as an empath, it's a power. It's your city, as they say, which is it's your ultimate power. It's your special spiritual power. And to be really loving to that sensitive person inside you, to fiercely protect yourself. And then that the world will protect you and support you.